Welcome back to Fabrication 101. It's great to be back in the shop. It's great to have you guys back in the shop with me. It's been quite a bit. I've been kind of busy doing some other stuff, but some good things have happened in the time since my last video, which has been quite a while again. This little channel hit 1,000 subscribers and we keep going up. And I want to say thank you to those of you guys that are subscribing and watching the videos. I really appreciate it. I like all the comments, and some of them are very helpful and constructive. Some of them not so much, but I'll take what I can get. So anyway, we're back in the garage working on the Bronco some more, trying to finish up a couple other little things. This particular project wasn't something that was absolutely necessary, but I'm hoping it'll make things a little bit nicer with this Bronco. One of the things is I love this little 4BT, but it's very loud and it vibrates a lot. And I think part of that had something to do with the motor mounts that I built. As you can see, I've got the motor kind of suspended under this little bridge in here right now. The motor's actually hanging in the Bronco. As I started out the video, you saw me removing the old motor mounts. So these are the original motor mounts I built, and when I started this whole project, this Bronco was originally going to have a 351 Windsor in it. I had bought all this stuff to build my own motor mounts. These are urethane bushings in here, and they're very, very firm. I built them this way because I was really concerned, and some of the stuff I'd read about was making sure you had plenty strong motor mounts to hold this heavy little engine. So in fact, these motor mounts are so rigid. When I was working with the transmission, I can actually have no transmission support, and the transmission does not settle down even like a half an inch. It sits right there, which is kind of a good thing, but it's also kind of a hassle when you're trying to take the motor or the transmission out, and it's getting some of the bolts hard to get to. It's nice to have that thing kind of settle back a little bit. Makes it a little bit easier to get to some of that stuff. So the motor mounts I'm replacing these with are going to be these guys, and these are stuck in the box. Come on, box. Okay, this is what is called a liquid filled mount. Now I don't think it's actually a liquid. I think it's more of like a jelly, like a jelly filled donut. And these, as reading through some forums and some things on 4BT swaps, these are kind of the ones that everybody says to go to. I think these are kind of the ones that were actually originally in the truck that this motor came out of. Well, hopefully these do a lot to absorb a lot of the vibration and noise coming out of this little motor. So that motor, well, this driver's side engine mount part is pretty well done. Well, not done. I'm going to leave it tacked together for now until I can get the frame side at least started and figured out and built. Unfortunately, this leads me to probably what's going to be the least fun part of this project, and that is going to be cutting off or removing the frame side underneath there. I'm hoping I can do most of this stuff without having to pull the engine or do anything like that. Obviously it's hanging in there, but this is not going to be much fun. A lot of sparks in the face, I think. Maybe put a long sleeve shirt on for this part, but this should be unpleasant at best. All right, you can see that the mount is in. Looks a little crooked in this from the camera angle, but it'd be nice if this light would work better. Anyway, I had to modify it a little bit. The original design had the top of the bolt hitting my lift pump here, or my primer pump, so I had to move it down. I think it's actually going to work better this way. So look from underneath, you can kind of see, if I can get my camera in there. So there's the bottom of the mount. Now, next thing I got to do is build cardboard from the frame over, find my center point, and then build it off the frame. I think I'll start with some cardboard because this is going to be a little bit more complicated, because this one I'm going to build in place, and then the top one can come out, then I can get everything all welded up and bolt everything in. But so far it's looking pretty good. All right, driver's side mount, upper mount, engine mount side, I guess, is done. The chassis side or frame side on the driver's side is all welded in as well. So I got a little bit of cleanup work left to do on that piece. Throw some paint on it, throw some paint on the chassis side of that mount. And then this side will be, well, I guess once I bolt the new mount in, this side will be done, and it'll be time to start on the other side. The other side shouldn't be too much of trouble, except that I have to make sure I clear the starter. So we'll get to that later, probably tomorrow.
Early the next morning.
All right, so that's the engine side, or engine mount of the passenger side, tacked together. Looking pretty good. The only problem I can see is this bolt is going to be a challenge to put in, especially if this mount is in here, because the mount won't hit the bolt or the rubber mount, but it's going to make it really hard to put in. All the other ones should be fine. So we'll go ahead and bolt this side in, and then see if we can get the bottom half fabricated. It'll be all done. right, driver's side motor mount is in, and well, you guys can see it, but passenger side mount is also in, kind of hidden by some stuff there. That one's all done and bolted in. The motor's all ready to go. Got a few things left to button up. I got to tie up the exhaust. Starter's hooked up. I did have to, this side was a little bit more of a challenge because I had to clear the starter and the turbo drain line that goes down into the bottom of the block. Kind of created a little bit of an issue. I had to disconnect the exhaust so I could raise the motor way up so I could get the mount out. I almost thought I made a huge mistake when I couldn't get the lower bolt out of the side that bolts to the motor. But I got it figured out. I think it'll work, and it should work just fine if you ever have to pull the whole motor in the future. Should not be an issue. But anyway, we gotta put that on there. We also gotta put some tires on it, or not put that on there, take that thing off the cross brace so that I put over there to hang the motor. But anyway, we'll take care of that. Then we'll fire it up and see how it runs. So let's see. Let's try and get rid of this piece here with a snap. All right, so that cross brace is gone, and miraculously the tires are on as well. I think we're ready to try and fire this thing up and see if all that work was for nothing. Oh, hello, Oakley decided. Oakley, what are you doing? You think there's somebody in here? He'll run away as soon as I start this thing up. But anyway, let's see if all that work was for nothing. To be honest though, even if it doesn't make it better, as long as it doesn't make it worse, I'm not taking it out because it's in there for good now. So again, just to recap, we went with liquid filled motor mounts. Again, I think they're more of a jelly than a liquid, which I guess is still a liquid. But and then I also put a rubber motor mount in for the transmission as well. And so hopefully that kind of reduces a lot of the vibration and should, if everything I've researched and read, should help quiet this thing down a little bit. I don't know if it's going to make that big of a difference noise level, but hopefully it won't vibrate so bad that I can actually use my mirrors on this thing. So let's go ahead and fire this guy up and see what happens. Go ahead and turn the air compressors off. I don't need those running right now. Sounded funny. Well, it's kind of hard to tell if it's quieter because my downpipe popped off. I guess I didn't have it locked on there completely. But it does appear to be vibrating a whole lot less. So let's go see if that downpipe's super hot. I should be able to fix that real quick, and then we'll try and fire it up again.
A few moments later.
All right, band clamp. Downpipe's all tied in there with the V-band. Hopefully it won't come loose this time. Kind of a funny thing is I was tightening that up, and then I bumped this switch to turn the lights on, and then I realized I had underhood lighting, which made that actually pretty nice. So let's walk over here. Let's see if we can fire this thing up and see if it makes any difference on the noise. Again, I'm not sure noise-wise how much it's going to do, because I think a lot of these early Cummins motors, the noise kind of came from the injection system. So fuel shutoff is closed. Sounds better. It's a little quieter. I don't even know if you guys can hear me over this thing, but it's not vibrating nearly as bad. And that mirror kind of tells the story right there, because before, even at idle, this thing would vibrate so bad, everything in this mirror was just a blur. And this mirror is tied to the roll cage, which is tied to the frame. So it should be pretty solidly mounted in there. So anytime if there's any kind of vibration, you see it in that mirror. So I do believe the last 2 days of work were worth it on this thing. Again, I don't know if it's much quieter noise-wise, but it's a whole lot less vibration-y. I don't know if that's a word, vibration-y, vibrating. A lot less rattly, I guess, I'll put it that way. So we're gonna end this video off there. There's a few more things I need to button up. I need to put that skid plate on the floor back up underneath to protect the back of the motor. And a couple other little things. Fuel cell's leaking again in a different spot than I fixed it the last time. So that's got to get fixed. But I think I'm going to run it a little bit, try to run some of the fuel out of it because I think it's still got about a half a tank before I pull that thing out to fix it. So one other kind of update thing, I did end up replacing the rear shocks. And if you can read upside down, you can see that says ADS. So these are Arizona Desert shocks, 12-inch stroke. They're just shocks. They're not coilovers or anything like that. They're just emulsion shocks, but those should work a lot better. Hopefully those work a lot better with that spring over in the back. It is sitting quite a bit higher than it used to be, so hopefully that all works out a little bit better. One other thing before I go, or before you go, or before I let you go, is I got this new thing, this disc sander, this 20-inch disc sander. I'm pretty excited about it, but I'm having a terrible time getting the discs to stay stuck to the wheel. And you see this one's actually pulled off enough that I can't even get the little guard open on the top of it. That's a brand new disc. The first time I stuck it, it stuck for like a day and then fell off. And then I tried some 3M spray adhesive, and then it stuck for like a week, and then fell off. The couple times I used it in this video, I just reapplied it, restuck it, and it stuck for the time it was used up until the last time I went to use it. And then you can see that the disc came off and hit the edge of the table, made a big noise. I don't know, didn't really make much noise, but it scared the crap out of me is one thing. So if any of you folks out there know anything about these things and how to keep those discs from coming loose, like I said, that was a brand new disc with 3M adhesive sprayed onto it. It did stick quite a bit longer the second timer with the 3M adhesive than the last time, but it'd be nice if they would stick and I wouldn't have to mess with it, because when I got it, I got a whole stack. I don't know if you guys can see that stack of discs over there. There's probably 10 or 15 other grits. Mostly lighter ones, but this thing's awesome. It works great. For 500 bucks, I think I got a really good deal on it. So anyway, if you know anything about those things, shoot me a comment down below. All right, so we're gonna end it off there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. That's pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited about it still, even though it's been a little bit since that happened. So anyway, we will see you guys in the next episode of Fabrication 101. In the meantime, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, and go build something.